driving in an old Citroen.
Yeah.
You just stopped at the market. You
Yeah.
picked up a couple of bottles of rosé.
Right.
We picked up some saucisson sec, some tapenade, locally made, right, with these loving, caring hands of an old French lady, and this crusty bread made by a baker that only makes bread and no pastry.
No pastry. Yep.
Right.
He's a
That's
bread
it.
maker.
He's a bread maker.
Yeah.
And
then you go to an old table. Right?
Exactly, an old table, or maybe throw out a sheet.
Crack open a bottle.
And you're surrounded by lavender fields.
Yeah.
Truly a sensory experience.
Yeah, it's like a lifestyle, kind of like just, it's a lifestyle that surrounds this wine that is one that is really attractive, I think. I think we can all agree this is a very attractive lifestyle behind a wine like this. What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and you are Rolly from Theo and Harris, and welcome to Liquor Run. We're going to be drinking a delicious rosé today and a cool wristwatch check. Yeah. But before any of that, let's have a traditional Sunday family drink, right? In memory of my great grandfather Silvio, who passed away years ago, but yesterday. So it's kind of like the anniversary. But his thing was Sunday brandy. Right? Noon brandy every Sunday. So, Mom, hop in the shot. Ready? Boom.
Anna.
To Silvio.
Behind the camera.
Delicious.
All right.
All right, so now that we've had our noon brandy, life can go on. So, all right, what are we wearing? Wristwatch check first.
I'm sticking with the DJ.
You've been having a lot of fun with that recently.
This strap is just killing me.
Right? I love it. David Beckham actually wears the same watch on the same strap.
I think he saw me wearing it, and he's like, I got to do the same.
I think that's how he does his haircuts too, right? Every time that you change, he changes. I am wearing a similar and yet so different watch, an oyster case, a fluted bezel, a champagne dial, but it's Tudor, not Rolex, and it's a date day, so it actually has the day function in Spanish.
I love it.
I know that you might speak a little bit of Spanish, so I think it's a really, really cool watch. This watch was listed on the watch shop at theoandharris.com. It was one of the most amazing Tudors that we've had. So that's it. Now let's get into the wine. What are we drinking?
So spring is here.
Yep.
Even though it's going to snow.
Doesn't matter. Spring is here.
The new vintage, the new rosés are coming out, and we're so pumped up about today's wine.
Yeah, and now let's talk about for a second why we chose this wine.
We chose this wine because a few weeks back we delivered 2 watches to 2 wonderful guys.
A Tudor and a super compressor-ish inner bezel rotating Walkman. So
2 watch geeks. In Kenilworth, New Jersey.
Yeah. we got out of the car, right? My dad and I went to go deliver the watches, and you would think that I would be the one to get like, oh hey, what's up? It's Christian, because I've been in like 220 YouTube videos, and yet they were like, Rolly, oh my God, So they were super excited to see him, and while I collected dust in the back, they recommended that we try Whispering Angel.
They wanted to see a liquor run on Whispering Angel.
Yeah, Antonio. It's great stuff. This is a wine that I haven't had before. Right. You have before.
Yes.
And I wanted to give him a little bit of credit because Antonio picked this one out.
This was for you.
And let's do it.
So many of us have grown up with rosé being like white Zinfandel in America, sweet, blush as it's called. Yep. But there's another world to rosé, and we are really embracing European-style rosés, dry-style rosés. This one in particular is a real badass rosé. It comes from Provence, France. The story of this wine or of this chateau is interesting because the guy who started Chateau d'Esclans is a wealthy guy. He's probably around my age, maybe a little bit older. Right. Comes from a family of privilege. His parents, his father owns a chateau in Bordeaux, so grew up with privilege. Studied in America, held jobs here in America. Was a sommelier in Boston. Worked for a wine distributor. There's money there. Yeah. However, I think he recognized in all of this, in all of this privilege, he did recognize that there was a need, or there was a market need, a gap that he could fulfill, which was quality rosé in America. I found an interesting statistic recently that only about 19%, or maybe even less, of rosé from Europe or from Provence is exported to America.
So they're keeping basically everything. They're keeping 80% of their wine,
because it's a very humble wine.
Sure.
You'll find rosé on every table in Provence. You're having saucisson, you're having cheeses, you're having, tapenade, you're having rosé.
Right.
But so he figured out, if I make a really good rosé, give it a great label, but really commit to quality, it's going to export. It's going to win. And boy, are they winning.
Wow.
Part of me, I love that story. You'll also find this wine a hell of a lot in the Hamptons and on yachts. So it's becoming may I use the word douchey?
Yeah.
It is.
Right.
But
still,
it's douchey, but it's also really good.
It puts up.
And it stands up to all the hype. Cool. And you know how certain things are when they become douchey.
Yeah.
They suck. But this one is good.
Like the Hamptons. Remember when the Hamptons used to be cool? But okay, cool. So I'm super excited to dive into this. So let's pour it, do a little color test, talk about the wine, and let's go into it.
All right. It is so pale.
It's like rose water. I mean, look at that. It's
really gorgeous. Gorgeous wine.
Okay, wow. I mean, this is beautifully pale. I mean, but there aren't pink grapes though. I mean, there's white and there's red.
There are no pink grapes.
So
this wine is made from a blend of 3 different grapes: Grenache, a French grape called Rolly.
Hey,
Rolly, and which actually is Vermentino, the Italian Vermentino grape.
Okay.
But in France they call it Rolly, and Sensal.
Okay.
So these 3 grapes are blended. Now rosé. People say, well, is there a white Zinfandel grape? No, there's no such thing as that. What it is they'll put the red grapes into the vat, and the pressure they start to bleed out. Okay, what makes a wine red really is a contact with its skin.
Okay,
the skin is the pigment.
Okay,
so in this case, it's a very gentle press.
Wow.
So there's minimal contact with the skin, leakage. They give it just a little bit, just to give you a slight touch. But remember, Vermentino now is a white grape too, so you're not going to get much much color. This is deliberately done this way. This is beautiful.
Yes. So just to be very clear, this wine gets its color unlike wines like rosés from Mulberry Street, where they just pour a little bit of white and pour a lot of white and a little bit of red and charge double.
It's not a Mulberry.
That's a reality, guys. That actually happens. Okay, so let's keep going. You want to take a smell?
Yeah, let's take a little whiff here. Wow. So it to me it has really truly this classic rosé smell.
Okay.
I smell almost like orange peel. There is like a little citric note to it to this wine.
Cool.
But very very crisp. Okay. Let's give it a whirl. Okay. Let's try it.
Wow, that's delicious.
Incredibly
really well
clean,
balanced.
right? It's balanced. It's lovely acidity. It cleans your mouth in a way.
Yep, this is a very delicious wine already, for sure.
This wine is fantastic because it has that slight little grip that makes it so good to match with food.
Yeah, it has a little bit. It's definitely acidic, but there's just a little bit of that, kind of like almost pith at the bottom, but very small, very small.
Right.
It's not overwhelming. It's just that it's there. You know what I mean?
Imagine being in your yacht, having cases of this from morning to night. You can drink this by the caseloads. It's no joke.
This is the perfect wine
really,
for
really good wine.
Yep. If you're gonna yacht,
you have to have this.
You're right. If you're gonna go yacht.
Rosés, European rosés, American rosés too. But let's talk about European rosés and French rosés in particular. The prices have been creeping up. There's one particular rosé that caught storm here and just went through the roof, Domaine Haut. And now people are paying upwards of $100 for a bottle of Domaine Haut in a restaurant. The bottles are, I don't know, $50 in the store.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not dissing Domaine Haut, but for the love of God, it's a lot of money to buy for a rosé, and maybe it ages well. I don't care. I want a wine that's approachable. I want a wine that's good. I want a wine that delivers a lot of value. this wine delivers a lot of value, despite all the hype and
And
that everyone.
how much was it? $18?
This wine was a 1707.
So it's not cheap, but
No.
it's certainly not expensive by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, at $17, you are, really drinking a quality wine.
Yes.
And I feel like that, like we said before, that douchey kind of culture around it hasn't really totally tainted it, hasn't ruined the price. I mean, I'm sure that under different management, this $17 bottle of wine without change could move its segment up to $31. That wouldn't surprise me at all. That's just how marketing is. Like they could just rebrand this, bring it back at $31, and people would pay it. But I think at 17, we're in pretty good shape. How long have they been around for? Do you know?
Actually, I believe this.
It's not new.
It's relatively new. It's not terribly old. I would say maybe a decade or maybe just a little bit more than that. This is a relatively new project.
Right.
Okay. In the grand scheme of things, in European wineries, Sacha Lichine is the guy who's the brain behind this, and I think it's a wonderful idea. I mean, if you can keep a wine at that price point and give a lot of people access to a wonderful wine, à la santé. I mean, this is really fantastic. This is really, really good. You're gonna love this. Obviously, we're kidding about the yacht sting and stuff, but you buy a lot of it on your back, have it in the backyard, in the pool. There's a lot of opportunity now with spring here to have a really great bottle of wine. You've got friends coming over.
If you're gonna go for some raw wine, maybe, you know what I mean?
Fantastic, fantastic.
Some light food. I mean, this is just a really, really delicious thing.
We'll be touching on other rosés throughout the course of the spring and summer. Because we drink a lot of rosés during the season. And by the way, there in Provence and other parts of Europe, they're drinking rosés year round. It's not a seasonal thing. We make it seasonal, but you can have this year round. Yep,
I think this is absolutely delicious. Thank you, Antonio, for the tip. I don't know where you got your tip from, but it's killer, man. Thank you so much. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching Liquor Run. This is delicious wine. You should really give it a shot. Pick up Whispering Angel. If you're already paying in the $15 to $20 range, definitely pick it up. If you're used to paying in the $6, $8, $9, $10 range, give it a splurge. One time, $10. It's an extra $10 over your normal budget. Give it a shot, and maybe it'll show you, maybe what a rosé can be, as opposed to, just some sort of abstract thing. But this is a great opportunity. Give it a shot, guys. Thank you so much again for watching Liquor Run.
Salud!
Salud!